South Florida and a beautiful day here in Lone Depot Park as Tyler Phillips and the Marlins get set for the series finale against the visiting Pirates. The Marlins are looking for their 9th sweep of the season for Tyler Phillips, making his 3rd start in August. His last 2 this month have been really good, holding the Mets to just 2 runs in a victory in New York, and his last time out holding the Angels to just the 1 run. Clayton McCullough before the game was talking about how much he enjoyed what he's been seeing from Tyler Phillips in his transition as a starter, but to have success against these Pirates, he says he needs to be in the zone.
It's been encouraging as he's continued on in this transition. Is like he's overall cut his walk rate down. I think that's critical, especially starting where it's gonna be important for him to do. So I think continuing to fill up the zone. I think with Daniel and company now getting more time between outings to continue to improve some of his secondary pitches. I know they've been working on his sweeper really hard, try to get that more consistent. So I think it's today with Tyler, it's really just going to be for me him going out there and getting ahead of people. And I think limiting the free passes. There are going to be some balls put in play, and that's all right. We got to play good defense behind him, but his ability to get count leverage is going to be crucial.
And with a win today for the Marlins, they would tie the Red Sox for the 2nd most sweeps in Major League Baseball this season. Well, don't go anywhere when we return here on Marlins.tv. The Marlins look to wrap up the homestand with a victory. The Fighting Fish go for the sweep. Marlins, Pirates, series finale. First pitch is next.
Today at Dick's.
Well, Miami Marlins baseball is presented by Warner Hoffman, Gregg and Garcia, the official law firm of the Miami Marlins. By FPL and by UHealth, pushing medicine forward. At Lone Depot Park, getting you set for Game 3 of a 3-game set between the Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. He ditched the slapping when he made his way into the rotation, but Tyler Phillips is set to go. For Phillips, it's his 30th appearance on the year, his 14th start, and he takes on a different-looking Pirate lineup. Jake Mangum is 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts in the first 2 games, so for the first time in over a month, he's not in the leadoff spot. He's all the way down to the 7th.
Yeah, they got to mix it up. Horwitz is going to be your leadoff hitter. They have quite a few guys in this lineup that have been struggling. Reynolds has been one of them, hitting under 200. Valdez hitting under 150 in his last 20. So offensively, and even their starting pitching has just not been there in this slide. They're slowly falling out of this race. They're 6 games back of that 3rd wild card.
Spencer Horwitz set to go, and we are underway with a first pitch splitter from Tyler Phillips.
How about that? I think watching the first 2 games and seeing how aggressive, as much as the Pirates offense has struggled, you would think, okay, hey, they're going to come into this ball game and they're going to swing early and look for fastballs early, so you might wind up pitching them backwards.
And Tyler Phillips has been one of those guys. The fastball is a recipe for success for him at points. Now it's the sinker, it's not the 4-seam fastball, but he has you playing a guessing game with the arsenal. This guy is 25% sinker, 25% splitter, 25% sweeper. So you really are. Does it almost feel like you're guessing each time he throws?
Yeah, because he doesn't throw his fastball very often. And he's got a good one, 94 to 96 miles an hour. I would actually like to see him throw his fastball a little bit more. I know it gets hit. I mean, you look at the 2-seamer, 317, the 4-seamer, which he doesn't really use a lot, and that's a 400 average. You can easily say, well, he doesn't throw his fastball because it's getting hit. Well, if you locate it well and learn how to spot it, change the eye level, you can use that 4-seamer, especially off the splitter. Yeah, the 4-seamer's up, splitter's down. If you locate it, you'll wind up seeing that average on that fastball go down.
A little tapper foul from Horwitz. Top third of the Pirate lineup, they have struggled over the course of the series. They're 1 for 22, and again, Pirate skipper Don Kelly, he starts to manipulate this lineup a little bit. Mangum, who is a 295 hitter, came in hitting over 300, so he's in the 7th spot, and they're trying something new with Horwitz at the tippy top. And it pays off immediately. Leadoff single for Spencer Horwitz. Well, let's take a peek at Tyler Phillips's arsenal. Again, with that sinker, splitter, sweeper. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. And again, you are playing a guessing game at the top. And the sinker, you know where he wants to throw it. It's right at the bottom rail of the zone.
Right, and that last pitch was right in the middle of the plate. And we talked about how much that's been getting hit. And the fastball, only 35% between the four-seamer and the sinker at fastball usage. You need to spot it a little bit. That sinker was up in the zone. Even though it was a jam shot, it was still up. And you have the ability to leak it in the outfield. The hitter does when the ball is a little bit elevated.
A couple early arm side misses for Tyler Phillips. You know, the righty skying a ball up and away to lefty bats, and he takes on a powerful one in Brandon Lau, who has been held in check this week. He's 1 for 7 in the front 2 games. Brandon Lau sitting on 25 homers. Again, he hunts his third 30-homer season in his career in year 1 away from Tampa Bay.
I thought it was a great pickup by the Pirates, and when you added O'Neill and Connor Griffin and O'Hearn in that lineup, I mean, it's a pretty deadly lineup. But having those 3 out, everything relies on Reynolds and Lau.
Now, Paul Skeens on the initial All-Star roster reveal was the only Pirate named to the National League All-Star team, and he had a media availability right after that, and he mentioned, you know, his surprise that he was the only All-Star name. Now we're going to see one till the rubber next half inning in Braxton Ashcraft, but you know, a guy like Lau, he mentioned O'Hearn. He said, we're 3rd in baseball in runs scored. You'd think they'd have an offensive guy named to the All-Star team. It was good to see Otto Lopez get in the Midsummer Classic. He was named to the reserves. Fan vote opens up a whole different can of worms. 2-2. Good pitch. Curveball bottomed out on Lau, and Phillips has a punch up.
Yeah, real good pitch, that curveball. That's a pitch he uses a lot against left-handed hitters. There you see a 12-6. You know, that started out good spin rate. He gets on top of that ball, starts out around the belt and ends up around the ankles.
Good to keep this guy off the base paths in the front 2 ball games. Brian Reynolds 0 for 7. He's walked once. Seen the on-base plus slug dwindle from 822 to 811 entering this at bat.
Now with the Pirates, they were 8th in baseball coming into this series in stolen bases. Not a whole lot of opportunities to try to make an attempt.
Little tapper, Augustine Ramirez has got it. And that's out number 2. Horwitz into scoring position.
Well, let's look at the defense for the Marlins in today's game, sponsored by Doral Kia. Ruiz gets to start. Nice to see him back in the lineup. Out in left, Marcy, Casey in right. You have Sanoja over 3rd. Lopez, Edwards, and Jimenez gets to start at 1st. And Ramirez made a nice play there. Is behind the plate.
Yeah, Joe Mack getting the afternoon off for the meantime. Now could see Mack in the back half of this ball game. That was the case with the last time Ramirez started a game behind the dish. But they got to get one of the National League's leading hitters in Nick Gonzalez, who has been one of the few bright spots for the Pirates this week. He had a multi-hit day yesterday. But this is an area that the Marlins have excelled in over the course of a 4-1 homestand to this point. The visiting LA Angels over the weekend, they were a combined 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position over the weekend. And the Pirates didn't get a guy to second base on Tuesday, and yesterday they were 0 for 4.
And Phillips is a lockdown guy with runners in scoring position as well. 173 average against him.
Tapper off Gonzalez's front foot.
Tyler Phillips loves pitching at home. A 1.68 ERA here at Lone Depot. Very comfortable. Got a lot of great outfielders, and they utilize the defense. Mr. Phillips does.
Oh, that 1.7 ERA at home versus an ERA near 6 on the road. The big one is batting average and OPS. Opponents hitting under 220 against him at home. They hit over 280 against him on the road.
I mean, I think you should always pitch better at home because this is a park that you see more often of.
Well, here's a Toyota trend for you. Again, lowest home earned run average. Christopher Sanchez, the Marlins, not official yet, but it looks like they could be seeing him at Citizens Bank Park on the next road trip. And Tyler Phillips, one of the top dogs in the big leagues. Big Baltimore chop. Sanoja goes for the guy at second, and Gonzalez is aboard.
He almost caught Xavier Edwards off guard there. And it's a smart play in my opinion. He had no play at first whatsoever. This is a high chopper. Gonzalez is going to beat this out. Now Edwards is just going to be a little heads up because you see Horwitz, he breaks down the line. And I think because Edwards wasn't at the bag, Sanoja lawn darted it. You know, if he airs this out, it might go in the outfield. He didn't see Edwards there, so all of a sudden it hits in the dirt. But not a bad play.
He plays the game, you know, at such a high level in terms of not only the fun factor, he is just a joy to watch play, but it seems like at a very high IQ as well. Defensively, you put him anywhere, and he's already thinking a step or two ahead of everybody else, it seems.
Yeah, very versatile, and he knows where the ball's going, and that's a smart play right there. Luckily, Edwards was over enough to be able to pick that because that would have been into right field. But you know you don't have that ability. Last night's ball game, he wound up eating a ball that was not hit very hard down the third base line. A lot of third basemen would easily throw that one to first, maybe throw it away. Instead, he puts it in his pocket. So, yeah, absolutely.
Anywhere he's got to go. We saw Sanoja fill in at shortstop for a couple of days when Otto Lopez had the finger thing right on the heels of the All-Star break. Official scoring on that is a fielder's choice, so no single for Nick Gonzalez.
Really?
Really?
How is that a fielder's choice?
What Shimmy says, I believe.
How is that not a base hit? You didn't even make a play over to first because he would have beat it out. The only play is that you just went over to second base.
Well, there are a couple booths over if you want to go.
Yeah, I don't mind questioning the official score. And I don't mind helping out every once in a while if they need it. Right there, that should have been a base hit. I don't see where you're getting a fielder's choice out of it.
No.
They may change that one. I'm keeping it as a hit because I know Tyler's going to get out of this inning.
Now you score in pen, right?
Yes.
Me too. But I don't do whiteout. I do the scribble and I make it a mess.
I do the whiteout.
Head start, and it's Marlene Valdez bounces it foul. One more look at this fielder's choice / infield single, according to Jeff Nelson.
Well, it's an easy base hit. The ball hits off the plate. Gonzalez is beating this out. The only reason why Sanoja doesn't go over to first is because he knows he's not going to be able to get him. The only play is just to catch Horwitz off guard.
On pitch number 25 of the inning, harmless. Sanoja across the diamond, and Tyler Phillips works the scoreless first.
I'm Jay.
Marlins TV is presented by Warner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Beautiful Miami, Florida here. You got a Billy plush. When you were with us on the radio side, you got one of those Billy plushes.
I didn't get the one on the hat, though. Is that stapled on, or does that come that way?
Well, there's a magnet that you can attach to it. Put it on my shoulder. I look like a pirate.
There you go.
Hard. Now, Marcy in the leadoff spot here for the Marlins. No Joe Mack in the lineup today. Again, Augustine Ramirez doing the catching. Jacob Marcy had another hit and another run scored yesterday. Now, got the clip up to 205. The on base is about 120 points higher. Even when Marcy was skidding a little bit in May and June, he was walking, and now the hits are starting to pile up. And we've talked about it. He has been not just above average, a legit good hitter since the calendar flipped to July. And he always trusts that eye. Early go to the ABS challenge system. ABS is, of course, powered by T-Mobile.
Calls overturned. Miami has two.
That's a pretty easy one right there because the first two pitches were also sinkers at the bottom of the zone that were called balls. So you're thinking, hey, if you're calling those first two, that's down, and I got to challenge that one.
Oh, hard at 98 from the National League All-Star this year, Braxton Ashcraft, whose ERA sits a couple ticks over 4 right now. Now this guy has some of the nastiest stuff, not just in that Pirate rotation in the National League.
He does, and you see the numbers, 4.08 ERA. Now his last 5, he's been struggling, a 7.88 ERA in his last 5. He's got 10 strikeouts, 10. He strikes out 10 per 9. That's making his 24th start of the year. But you mentioned the stuff. Electric fastball. He's got the curveball slider. He keeps it simple. Mixes in a splitter every now and then. You don't see 7 to 8 pitches from Ashcraft. Well, let's scout. He has that great curveball, 12 to 6. It's nasty. He gets a lot of swing and miss. He leaves that ball occasionally. The fastball command is a little bit of an issue. Leaves it out over the plate. Almost a 300 average against that 4-seamer. He had a rough July. I mentioned the rough 5 starts. Well, in July, he had about a 7.5 ERA as well.
Now he gets a punch out on that nasty biting curveball, and that curveball, one of the it pitches in Major League Baseball, leads the way among his secondaries.
Yeah, he Ks 10 per 9, and that breaking ball, the average against is under 200. That's his best pitch, but it's set up by that 4-seamer. You see right there in the red, the 4-seamer he likes to throw at the top of the zone and change the eye level. There's the usage there. There's the average against. How about that curveball, 134? It's nasty.
Xavier Edwards pulled back a bunt, and he's saying that clipped him. Xavier Edwards is thinking he's got himself a 1-out hit by pitch.
A breaking ball in the inside half. He's going to have to put the gloves back on.
You want to be committed, obviously, to the bit, the process. You want to sell it, but when you got to tack on the batting gloves again, man, that looks
hit
close.
him in the back foot.
You saw the outside of that back cleat just flutter a little bit.
I mean, it's a quick challenge, but one of those things you almost have to trust a hitter in some sense. When he's taking his gloves off, and you watch the shoe there in the back, I think you got him. That's a breaking ball down and in.
Well, maybe Ashcraft gets away with one. Clayton McCullough's got a tough job on those.
And it's an early challenge, so if you don't get that right, you're losing it for the rest of the game.
And the longer it takes, the more you feel like that internal alarm is just whirring in your head. It's like, I got to tell him, I got to tell him. Well, Edwards, all's well that ends well. He finds his way on to first base.
Now let's look at the Pirate defense, sponsored by Doral Kia. Reynolds, Mangum, and Valdez in the outfield. Triolo gets to start over at third. You have Gonzalez and Gonzalez up the middle. Horwitz over at first. Flores behind the plate. Nick Gonzalez at second. This will be his 17th start at second. He's got 90 starts at third. You usually see him over there. I've seen him the first 2 games, and he started at shortstop 4 times this year. So he plays all over the infield.
He came up as a second baseman in the minor leagues. He was a second baseman at New Mexico State when he was a top 10 overall pick. Filled in at short a little bit. The Pirates could not find a shortstop for a couple of years, but they have one now in that 20-year-old phenom Connor Griffin. Bouncer to Triolo, who's got a gold glove on his mantle, and he kickstarts a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play.
Esta transmisión de los Marlins está disponible en español.
Well, here's the current odds on today's Hard Rock bet. Tyler Phillips over 12.5 outs, minus 125. Under 12.5 outs, minus 115. And how about a rep from our friends at Hard Rock?
Little cutter on the outside corner. Wow.
Check out the RPMs on that thing.
They have odds with that. He had a representative. What's the odds of him getting it over the plate? Well,
I think I saw the catcher cheating a little bit. What, 5 feet in front of home plate?
yeah. And he didn't go all the way back to the rubber either.
You know, Jacob Gonzalez tags one to center. Marcy with a great break again. It's effortless for him.
Now you see where Marcy's playing. He plays a little shallow in center field because he does this. He does a great job of going back to the baseball.
He walked into the clubhouse today. I said, "What's up, Spider-Man?" He got a huge kick out of that one.
It's such a benefit when you have center fielders that play shallow for a pitcher because, hey, you would love to have them, Rob. You want those low liners, catch those. I don't need them falling in front of the outfield. But you need that guy to be comfortable in going back on the baseball and be able to catch balls at the warning track, at the wall. And Marcy does that.
Little tapper again. Phillips off the hill quickly. And he got it there in time for out number 2.
It's like PFP here in the first couple innings. Ramirez gets out behind the plate, makes a play. A little soft contact, little slider. Nice job by Phillips and takes his time. Good throw over to first. And Mangum runs well, so you better get rid of it. Nice job by Jimenez over there as well. That was at the ankles.
From point blank range, too. Jared Triolo gets his first start of the series. He has been a utility player that is plugged in at a couple of different spots based on where the current injury may be over the last few years. When Pittsburgh was rolling Ke'Bryan Hayes out consistently, Hayes was dealing with back issues a lot. Triolo was playing third a lot, but he's played a lot of shortstop. He's played some first base. Much like Javier Sanoja has a utility gold glove in the National League. Now offense has been the bugaboo. He's hitting .240 with just 1 homer in 85 ball games. This is much quicker work for Tyler Phillips. Got the first 2 guys on 3 pitches. He's trying to fire off an 8-pitch second after a 25-pitch top of the first.
Yeah, so far in this inning, everything down. A lot of weak contact.
It seems like the goal changes for different arms in this Marlin rotation. And you know, this has been the case forever, but Tyler Phillips, his goal is belt and below, right? He wants to keep pretty much everything working at the knees. And he went to the shins for a punch out there. Tyler Phillips with a 1-2-3 top of the second.
At FPL.
Well, the Ballpark Bites bracket is here, and Marlins fans, vote for the machete. Fill in your ballpark bracket for a chance to win tickets to try these bites in stadium. Vote at MLB.com/brackets.
That looks good. Have you ever had it? I have not had it.
I haven't had it yet. I was waiting for the right person to eat it with, because it's not a solo mission, obviously. I think some people can turn it into a solo mission. But, you know, A.J. Ramos has to be here. He's a guy that, like, really puts it down. Big eater.
He can finish that whole thing off?
I think so.
Looks good.
Now, I heard Kyle struggled with the word Oaxaca, the Oaxaca cheese.
The Oaxaca cheese?
Yeah, I think he saw OAXACA. Not Oaxaca, Oaxaca. Oh, Griffin Conine expands on 99 up top. And, you know, given the depleted Skeens that we saw on Tuesday, it seems like this is a bump up in weight class in starting pitching.
Yeah, and the rotation for the Pirates are outstanding. You mix in Jared Jones, Bubba Chandler, you have Skeens when he gets it right. Their future in the rotation is going to be pretty strong. If they can keep some of those bullpen members that they acquired at the trade deadline, pitching will not be the problem.
Augustin Ramirez smoked a couple of baseballs yesterday. The Gus Bus got right back to that big swinging way for him. He singled at 108 and lashed in RBI double at 111 yesterday in an 8-2 win.
That's a sandy two-seam fastball right there at 98. That had a lot of movement on it.
He's always been a good athlete. the high round draft pick that just never really got to settle in the minor leagues. No problem for Jared Triolo, and that's out number 2. And now a message from FPL.
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
Braxton Ashcraft was a top 50 player in America when the Pirates took him in the 2nd round by perfect game out of high school. He was a Baylor commit. And I think the argument was there to be made that baseball was maybe Ashcraft's 2nd best sport in high school. He was a ridiculously good football player in the state of Texas. Braxton Ashcraft had over 2,000 receiving yards as a junior. He led the state of Texas in receiving yards. And number 2, Mr. C.D. Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
Fun to see Braxton Ashcraft, C.D. Lamb on the high school leaderboards.
Well, if you're from Texas, you pretty much have it football in your crib right away.
And Braxton Ashcraft spinning it through 2. We're scoreless.
Naruto.
Welcome back. Our score is presented by Warner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. No score in the top of the 3rd. How about a future hammerhead?
How about that? He's got his bat, brings it to the ballpark.
Now, would he be considered a guppy? Are baby hammerheads a guppy?
Well, looks like he's going to be a position player. He's already got a bat. Could be a pitcher, Dad. You never know.
Thinks the bat's tasty. They handle at least. Rafael Flores is getting his first start of the series. Andy Rodriguez, a no-go this week. He has been a bit of a breakout this year for the Pirates behind the dish, but Henry Davis caught the front 2, and Flores, who was part of the return from the Yankee farm system last year for David Bednar at the deadline. Flores has been a spot starter at points for Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Tyler Phillips really settled in that clean second. A cool note, this is the first time that the All-Star Ashcraft is throwing to Flores this year. For the most part, he was throwing to Davis and Andy Rodriguez. Hard hit bouncer to short. Otto Lopez is Philly out number 1. Hey, don't miss a moment this season with Marlins.tv, presented by Warner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Stream the entire season within the Marlins territory. Watch games at home or on the go, and stay connected all year long. Subject to national exclusivities. Visit Marlins.tv for details and start streaming today. Back to the top, and Horwitz. Tyler Phillips, last time out on Friday against the Angels, went 4 innings, a 1-run ball. He punched out 4. Now he is, along with guys like Gusto and Junk. Going out to right center, no problem for Owen Casey. He's got out number 2. Phillips kind of fits the group of Gusto and Junk in terms of guys that you got to be careful with 3rd time through, and Clayton McCullough has turned to the bullpen, and the bullpen should be pretty darn well rested over the last 2 games.
Yeah, if you look at his last 7 starts, he hasn't thrown any more than 76 pitches. 61 in his last outing, 4 innings of 1-run ball against the Angels. I mentioned that 3rd time around, 259 against, 232 the second, 289 the first, so he's already gone through the toughest part of the lineup that first time around, hitting almost 290 against Tyler.
He's far beyond his career high in the big leagues in terms of innings pitched. Tyler Phillips is a guy that has dealt with a big-time workload. When he was 20 years old in single-A ball in 2018, this guy fired off 133 innings.
Yeah, he's another guy. I mean, you look at Mulzinski in last night's ball game, whether it's bullpen or starter, the bullpen seemed to suit him a lot better.
Kicked away from Augustine just a little bit, but he finishes off the punch out, and Phillips has set down the last 7.
I'm OD in Paris, I'm OD in France.
The news and notes from around Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani hasn't pitched in a month. He's dealing with that lingering knee issue, but that hasn't stopped him from hitting taters. And if Alex Bregman gets going, that is a very dangerous Cub lineup. After the All-Star break, Chicago's got an 8-10 team OPS. It's the best mark in baseball.
Yeah, and they're 3 games back from the Brewers, so watch out. They are the tops in that wild card for the National League. And you look at Luis Castillo, I thought it was a great pickup by the White Sox. He needed a change of scenery. Just what they were doing with him out in Seattle, as far as piggybacking him with other starters, he was not happy about it. They were able to move him to another contender, the White Sox. Great pickup.
That's not what he does best, frankly. No. Luis Castillo is a guy that is one of the premier innings eaters in baseball. He's been very durable over the course of his career. This guy got to near 200 innings in an All-Star season in 23 with Seattle, 175 more in 24, 181 more last year. And Luis Castillo, all of a sudden you're throwing him into a situation where he's got to throw 4 innings of relief.
Right. Yeah, I think they were doing it with Bryce Miller, and when he first came back, they were like, he goes 5 and Castillo 4, and it just doesn't work that way.
This is really nasty stuff from Braxton Ashcraft here, who's got another punch out. It's already his 4th.
On the curveball. First pitch curveball, then a fastball that sets up this pitch in the dirt, and it's got such great spin rate and such great downward action. I mentioned the 12-6, and it's a hard curveball. I mean, this curveball's coming in at 87 miles an hour.
So I was going to ask you about that because it felt like the power curve went away for a little bit there, but the power curve was a thing when you were going where if guys are going to throw a curveball, if it's hard, that was a good thing.
Yeah, and they would probably call it a slider now.
Hard hit chopper that jumped up on Gonzalez, and Gonzalez didn't have a play. The middle infield law firm of Gonzalez and Gonzalez can't get Sanoha, and he's aboard.
Yeah, you don't want to go with them if they're booting balls like that. He's a really good shortstop. This is a routine ground ball, and he just let it play him. Hit him in the palm. Watch it hit him right in the heel of the glove. Just can't come up with it. Actually hit him on the side of the glove.
Ouch.
But you mentioned the power curve. I mean, that used to be called a slider.
Ruiz tries getting a bunt down, but it's a roller foul.
And the curveballs usually came in the 70s somewhere. Yep. And when you're throwing one at 87 and it has that kind of bite. Now, Ruiz is such an electric player. He's been a great addition for the Marlins. Every time he's in a game, something positive happens. He noticed that Triolo, the third baseman, is playing back. Might as well try to sneak a hit, and Triolo still continues to play behind third.
Sort of check on Sanoha. Just a little bit away from Horwitz. Ruiz didn't play yesterday, but 1 for 2 with a homer and a stolen base. Sanoha, a kind of a threat to motor here. He's 6 for 10. And this is a good guy to run against in Rafael Flores behind the dish. Rafael Flores, opponents are 12 for 12 against him in the big leagues in 65 innings.
Well, you look at Ashcraft. I mean, he has a quick move to the plate. It's not a slide step, but everything that he throws is hard. You got to hope that you get into, if you're going to steal a base, try to pick out, or if you can, guess on a curveball count.
Chopper to Gonzalez. It's short to Gonzalez for 1. Not in time to get the speed demon at first. And now a message from Doral Kia.
Take advantage of a Pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models. Like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
Let's check in with Kelly Sacco.
Hey guys, I was talking to Pedro Guerrero yesterday, and he said when Ruiz gets on base, the entire dugout gets a boost of morale because they know if he is on base, their chances of scoring goes way up, as we can see from our Mercedes-Benz cover every bases. That's exactly what this entire Marlins team do. They're ranked second, trailing only in the Nationals, and there goes Ruiz. If he's safe right here, out. 28 stolen bases on the season. Well, we don't see that very often, guys.
They tried it early. That Pirate defense jogs off the field, and that'll be a caught stealing. Just the 4th one, to your point, Kelly, this year. Ashcraft works a clean first time through.
With a bank.
Welcome back. Our score is presented by FPL, and we don't have one. Clean first time through for Tyler Phillips and for Braxton Ashcraft on the Pirates side. Now Philly takes on Brian Reynolds. Tyler Phillips, after a 25-pitch top of the first, had a 9-pitch second and a 9-pitch third. And this is the focal point of this Pirate lineup right now, with no O'Hearn, with no Cruz, with no Griffin. Brian Reynolds, a former national champion at Vanderbilt. He was on a loaded Vandy baseball team. Dansby Swanson was the shortstop on that team before he went #1 overall. Walker Buehler was in that rotation. Reynolds part of an interesting deal at the beginning of his career. He came over to Pittsburgh in effectively a 1-for-1 swap. There was a right-hander, Kyle Crick, that came as well, but Andrew McCutchen was traded from Pittsburgh to San Francisco, and Reynolds, who was a giant draft pick, made his way to Pittsburgh in that deal. And of course, McCutchen, I believe he's still with the Rangers AAA affiliate right now.
Oh, did he accept an assignment?
You know what? I think he's actually in Atlanta. I think he's in Gwinnett. But McCutchen obviously spent a few years as Reynolds' teammate in Pittsburgh over the last few. Played with them 23 through the end of last year. Now Reynolds thinks that's ball 4, but Augustine Ramirez going to challenge. Again, ABS is powered by T-Mobile. Good challenge from Gus.
Calls over to Miami retain.
And Augustine been good at this from the jump.
He has. He's been really good at the awareness of the strike zone.
It's a leadoff walk. Well, today's youth player of the game is Gigi. Plays for the Hollywood Hawks in the Rotary Park League. Loves hanging out with family. Her favorite Marlin is Kyle Stowers, and when she grows up, wants to be a doctor.
Nice. Maybe like an orthopedist.
Maybe. Should I tell her about the 6-year residency program now?
Well, the injuries that happen in sports today, hey, you'll be kept busy.
Yeah. Well, Nick Gonzalez no longer 0 for 1. He's back in the hit column. It was an infield single. Score 1 for Nelly. That big one hopper over to third, and Gonzalez went around on that.
Well, Tyler has a real good split. He's getting on top of that split finger. If you get on the side of it, it just stays up in the zone. When you're getting on top, he's getting that good sink, a good bite on it.
Punched out to center, and Marcy underneath for out number 1. They catch the Fighting Fish in action with the Marlins face the Washington Nationals August 21st through the 23rd. Plus, don't miss exclusive merch for a Harry Potter night, Dominican Heritage celebration, and more. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/tickets.
It'll be you and I on the radio side for that homestand.
For Harry Potter night?
For Harry Potter night.
Learned all about the houses the other day.
I'm not a Harry Potter guy at all.
Me neither. Head start for Reynolds. A great jump. And he's 8 for 8 in the stolen base department.
I think Clayton McCullough wanted interference, so you watch. He gets that jump start, and then he has to stop thinking that maybe Tyler Phillips will throw over, and you're right, he's in there with no problem whatsoever. Now, here's the swing here. And I think Clayton McCullough just wanted, because you see Ramirez, and that's what you're taught as a catcher, is just to go forward, and if the hitter leaks out, I mean, it's going to be interference. Now, you heard the home plate umpire, Brock Ballou, he said, hey, he didn't even move, and you could see the hitter didn't move there.
And Agustin Ramirez, with that step forward, naturally just kind of took himself into Valdez on the backswing.
And it's a good plan, because as catchers, they should be doing that anyway. Anytime a hitter swings and there's a play at second base, go right into the hitter. Or if you, especially if you see that you have no shot. Now you see here Ramirez almost gets hit with a bat. But just go right in, see if you can catch an interference. I mean, that was a great call there by the home plate umpire, but you never know. You may get one and then you steal an out.
It's like hunting contact in the paint if you're driving for a layup. And you know it well, basketball referee in the offseason, right? You did that through your playing days?
I did. I didn't like running in the wintertime. Yeah. So, I would ref high school basketball and do playoffs all the way up until spring training. Had some NBA guys out in Washington State.
Perfect top rail sinker from Tyler Phillips, and Valdez is flustered here in August. He's 3 for 29 this month.
Well, you're seeing a lot of off speed from Tyler, and you just sneak a fastball by guys when you're sitting there seeing curveball, split, slider, and you're not seeing a lot of fastballs. You can get away with one down the middle of the plate.
Talked about that a lot with Jansen Junk last night, working backwards, breaking balls, changeups early, and then put away with the heater. And there's a first pitch sweeper. You see similarities. Obviously, Junk is a four-seam fastball guy and Phillips a sinker guy, but the way they want to operate, you see some similarities.
Yeah, a lot of off-speed first. With Jansen, he throws a little more fastballs than Tyler, but you see a lot of off-speed by both of them. Even Gusto will mix in a few more off-speed. Now, he's a guy who also uses his fastball a little bit more. I wish that Phillips used it. He's got a good one, and if you could command it to both sides of the plate.
Good curveball.
Yeah, he's got good bite on his pitches today. Everything is on top. And great mechanics. There you see a great look there, how you're on top of that curveball.
One, two. Hard hit bouncer jumps up on Jimenez. I stick with it. Well, the Magic returns to Lone Depot Park. Join us on Friday, August 21st at 7:10 p.m. for Harry Potter night as the Marlins face the Nationals. Ticket package includes an exclusive Harry Potter themed baseball cap with your house colors. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/Harry Potter. Well, here's the hats. Those are the four houses. You've got, I'll get you the four houses in a moment. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And Rafael Flores overturns the ball one call. So the hats are what? The four houses: Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw. Line shot beyond the reach of Gonzalez into right center. Marcy has himself a leadoff single.
Now, Jack, I got you.
Okay,
don't worry.
thank you.
I like to be the resident Harry Potter expert. So let's start left to right. Top left, we got Slytherin. Over to the right, we've got Ravenclaw. Bottom left, or to the right, is Hufflepuff. Bottom left is Ravenclaw, and over to the far right is Gryffindor.
So aren't there like personality tests that
That's
you can
exactly
take?
right. There's different personality tests. They say Slytherin's very ambitious. Very overly ambitious. They like power. Gryffindor they're great team players, and great team players. Hufflepuff, they get along with everyone, and Ravenclaw very book smart.
Okay,
So
now
that's how I would put them.
My understanding is you don't want to be Slytherin. Is that right?
No, every evil witch and wizard was in Slytherin.
You got that, Nelly?
So
What's the book smart one?
That's where you would be, Nelly? Ravenclaw?
No,
Is
yeah,
that you?
no. I would be the Slytherin.
You would look great in green, though.
I would be. I'm all over Slytherin. I was going to say Jack would be the book smart one. What was that one?
That's Ravenclaw.
Okay.
But Jack also gets along with everyone,
yes.
too. So he would be kind of like a mix of the two.
Yeah.
Now I have to Venmo both of you guys after this. I like you at Slytherin. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think that makes a lot. Nelly likes to stir the pot. That's what the Slytherins like to do.
Well, the 0-2 from Braxton Ashcraft. Bouncer to Gonzalez. 4-6-3 on the double play, and the leadoff single extinguished. Now, you mentioned that it's been a kind of slow stretch for Braxton Ashcraft over his last 5 here, but he's really looking the part of that all-star billing, and he gets his ground ball here.
Yeah, real good fastball, and he's keeping that down. He's controlling it well in the strike zone, and that breaking ball has been outstanding. Real good bite, and it helps when you're getting ahead.
That's a bunt attempt, foul ball.
Really tough to bunt off of. Also, it's tough to steal off of. I mean, you mentioned Ruiz. That was the only fourth time that he's been caught this year. Everything is coming to the plate hard. I mean, you got 98 at the top of the zone. If you're throwing that hard, you better get a good jump. He doesn't have a slide step, but the windup is quick when guys are on, and that curveball comes in at hard. So you almost have to guess on a curveball count. Might be the only shot if you're going to try to attempt to steal a base.
And to your point, just the fourth time that Esteury Ruiz got caught stealing this year. It's the first caught stealing for Rafael Flores, the Pirate catcher. And for it to come against a guy like that tells you just how good Ashcraft is in that situation. Rafael Flores, opponents now 12 for 13 against him in stolen bases. They were 63 for 71 in 45 games with AAA Indianapolis.
And it's tough because the majority of the time that you're stealing off the pitcher, and the bad numbers reflect the catcher.
Yeah.
You don't have pitchers that don't know how to hold runners either now with the pitch clock. You got to vary your moves to the plate, either slide step.
98 up top. Ashcraft has kept the pitch count in check. 42 pitches through 4. Well, no score between the Marlins and the Pirates in the top of the 5th inning. This has been a pitcher's duel. We're expecting it from these two. Phillips, the way he's been throwing, and Ashcraft, just the guy he has become in 2026. It's Tyler Phillips again in the top of the 5th, and the Bluetooth is messing up. The pitch-com issues. It always happens at the outset of the ball game, but is this like a battery thing? Is it a Bluetooth thing?
Maybe they forgot to plug in the charger. I don't know. Have no clue.
Now they can't go back to the old brick and mortar approach of throwing their fingers.
Yeah, they don't know how to do that.
Phillips is pushing the buttons.
They had a game, it was a couple years ago. It was at Yankee Stadium. It was the Red Sox and the Yankees, and the pitch-com didn't work, I think, for the Red Sox. So if it doesn't work for one, then it's gone for both sides. And I think it was Luis Gil, the starter for the Yankees. They had to use the old-fashioned signs. He had no idea what 1, 2, 3 wiggle was. And when a guy got on second, he was stepping. He had no clue what to do.
Game over. One pumped out to right center. Casey on the move. He can't get it. Now Mangum around second, headed to third. And he'll be in there with a leadoff triple.
It looked like it was going to be an easy triple for Mangum anyway, but when Marcy overthrew the cutoff man, it was easier. And this was a sweeper, first pitch sweeper. Casey had a good effort. I mean, the angle might not have been the best, but I don't think he was going to catch that anyway. And Mangum runs well. He gets in there with the leadoff triple, especially after you throw over the cutoff man.
Full extension reach, couldn't do it for Owen Casey. Thankfully, Marcy was there to back it up.
He just called a balk. I don't think Tyler Phillips stopped.
Phillips frustrated? Yeah, and Brock Ballou is saying, come on, you're in to score. They get Phillips on a balk, and it's 1-0 Pirates here in the 5th. And Clayton McCullough walked out. I think he was ready to have a conversation, but Phillips is saying, no, that was on me. What do you see?
Well, he's pitching from the windup, so I don't know what I see here. I mean, he's pitching from the windup, so I don't know what the explanation was there.
It looked very normal.
Same like this. I mean, he's pitching from the windup, so you don't have to come from a complete stop because that's only from the stretch. Now you watch. Okay, he's on the rubber. He's set. The hitter's not in the box yet. He's got to pick him up before he starts.
Went driven to center. Marcy back onto the track. Marcy jumps up again, and it sneaks over the wall and gone. Inches away from another highlight play, but instead it's Triolo's second homer.
Well, I think we're going to take a look at this. It was a sinker up, and Marcy made a great catch last night. This one, I think, hit in his glove and then went over the fence. Not as bad as the play in Atlanta with Acuna. Now watch Marcy. Watch when it hits in his glove and then out of his glove and then over the fence. In his glove, hits the wall, and then he pushes it over.
It was lodged up against the tippy top of that padded wall.
Almost another great catch.
Nearly identical to the catch he made robbing Esmeralyn Valdez of either a top of the wall double or a home run.
Now here's the question. If it hits the glove and hits the wall and then goes over, that's going to be a double.
Right.
But if it hits the glove and then goes over without any assistance, so they're going to look at that.
Quick check on it. Vic Carapaz, the crew chief, and Triolo, fists in the air, is he's celebrating like a heavyweight boxing win.
So if it hits the glove and then the wall and it goes over, yeah, that's almost the exact play. He comes up with that one, and it just gets out of his glove and goes over the fence.
And nearly a carbon copy. That's why it's a really tough play to make. For Triolo, that was his second homer in his 267th plate appearance. And he's a big guy. That home run number just really doesn't make much sense, but when you put the ball on the ground a lot, it's really hard to tally those up. And this is a guy that fills in at third base often. You'd think that he's hunting 10 homers or so, but that just has not been the case for him at all this year. The power zapped.
I'm still puzzled with the ball call. I don't know what Brock Ballou saw there.
Backup curveball clipped the inside edge. Again, he's throwing from the wind. That happens all the time with a runner at third. The only thing is maybe there was a slight hitch in his right knee right before he started to go. But that was the only thing. Hey, be sure to stay tuned to the 7th inning for the stretch presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Greg Mish and A.J. Ramos guiding you through the pregame. They'll take you through the postgame. Horwitz singled to open up the ball game and then flat out to right his second time. Smacks one, but plucked by Edwards. For out number 2. Now, Pirates got to Phillips with that leadoff triple from Mangum and the home run from Triolo. He's got to put away another power threat in Lau. And Phillips approaching that magic number that you were pointing to. That was his 72nd pitch of the game.
Yeah, last 7 starts, 76 has been his high. Now he has thrown 100 pitches, but that's been a while. Actually, 97 was his high this year, and that has been a while.
It's when he out of nowhere worked into the 8th in St. Louis. How cool was that in the moment? Just thinking back to the end of June when, this guy was, throwing 4 1/3, 4 2/3. We were talking about him becoming this 5 and dive guy, and that's great. And then all of a sudden he's on cruise control through 7. He comes running out of the dugout for the 8th inning.
Yeah, you look at his starts. Out of the 14 starts this year, we'll include this one. We don't know how long he's going to go, but there's only been 2 times that he's gotten past 5. He threw him 6 innings one time, and then he went that 7 1/3 that you just talked about.
Nobody up in that pen. This could be one of those stretch out starts for Tyler Phillips. He's been a strike thrower. Of his 75 pitches, just 22 misfires. That's what Clayton McCullough prioritized today when he was talking to the media. He said he has to get ahead. He has to get count leverage, getting to 0-2 and 1-2 as quickly as possible.
Well, the damage today in this inning has been on the first pitch.
And I know it's your favorite pitch in baseball. Strike 1. It matters more for Phillips than really anybody else in this rotation. When he falls behind 1-0, opponents hit 330 against him. When he gets ahead 0-1, that drops to 197. And OPS is even more drastic. After 0-1, a 515 OPS against him. When he falls behind 1-0, a 1074.
Yeah, you want to. I mean, with Phillips, he wants to put the hitters on the defensive right away, and to get ahead then you can utilize, because he really doesn't have a pattern with pitches. He's not a guy that's going to use his fastball 50% or more. I mean, you're seeing the split, you're seeing the sweeper, the curveball to lefties.
Uncomfortable hack on a sweeper that backed up. Tyler Phillips set down the back 3, but the Pirates strike for 2 in the 5th. Well, bottom of the 5th inning. During the break, Tyler Phillips went up to the skipper, Clayton McCullough, saying, my head, my head. He's referring to that balk that allowed the first run to come in to score. Phillips is effectively saying, that's on me here. He knows what he did, although it was, again, tough to tell. You can pitch from the windup with runners on base, and that's what it looked like he was doing. But whatever it was, Phillips aware that he was guilty of it, and he took ownership during that.
Yeah,
break.
I went over real quick to the radio booth because I wanted to ask A.J. Ramos, because I didn't see anything, and he goes, I didn't see anything either. He was like puzzled. I don't know if this rule just came into play, and I don't even know if it was a rule that you have to declare that you're pitching from the windup. I've never heard that before, ever, that you have a guy's on third.
Well, Conine smashes the ball to right center. Mangum took a good route to it. And Conine held to an 105-mile-an-hour leadoff single.
I've never heard anything where a pitcher has to declare with a runner on third that he's pitching from the windup. You just automatically do it. Unless that's a new rule, I usually keep up on that stuff, and I've never heard that before.
Augustine with a chopper over to short. Gonzalez, Horwitz. And there are 2 men gone. So, honestly, this could be a very new thing that has made headlines. And John Solster, our producer, just brought this up. Is it the Sale thing? I think it could be the Sale thing, because Dan Merzell, the umpire in Braves-Yankees over the weekend, called Braves ace Chris Sale for a balk because he didn't declare that he was throwing from the windup. Now, Sale, the very next day, because he's Chris Sale and one of the best personalities in baseball, he was ejected before the first pitch of the game was even thrown on a day that he wasn't starting. But he had issue with that. Sale did not declare that he was pitching from the windup. And I guess Phillips didn't declare that he was pitching from the windup. So that could be our reasoning. And literally, the best example is 4 days old. Quick inning for Braxton Ashcraft, but Leo Jimenez wants to stick around. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And quick work for Braxton Ashcraft here in the bottom of the fifth. Are you planning an event? Watch Marlins baseball from the DR Beach Club, located in the outfield at Lone Depot Park. It's the perfect setting for company outings, celebrations, and nights out at the ballpark. Learn more at marlins.com/groups. DR Beach Club was presented by Aerojet, the official airline partner of the Marlins. Tyler Phillips, 77 pitches through 5. It is the high point over the last bit, as Nelly pointed out last inning. And here he is getting a clean 6th, chasing 2-0.
Yeah, we'll get some clarification on that balk if anybody's confused, because I definitely was. Apparently, and I don't know when this came into play, but there is a rule. If if a pitcher with a runner at third, if he starts in a windup, you have to come to a set. But if you don't come to a set in that full windup, the home plate umpire can call a balk. You have to declare that, hey, I'm throwing from the full windup when there's a runner at third, so the home plate umpire doesn't mistake that, because now I think with a lot of pitchers use that abbreviated windup where it almost looks like they're in a set position, and then they'll just move that stride leg back a little bit, and that's considered like a full windup.
And again, Chris Sale was caught for it in the Bronx 4 days ago, and here Phillips is caught with it to bring in the first Pirate run of that 2 spot in the top of the 5th. You wonder how much longer Phillips has. He's about to throw his 83rd pitch. Reminder, earlier start tomorrow than typical on a Friday night. 6:10 first pitch between the Marlins and the Reds in Cincinnati. Good old Rick Ross gets in the way. Post-game concert at Great American Ballpark.
How about that?
I think he's a Miami guy. He lives here. Hot shot ramps off the mound. Otto Lopez. No problem for out number 1. Hey, let's check in with Kelly.
Hey guys, today's Ocean Bank Making Waves minor league report highlights. Once again, it's Brandon Compton. You've heard his name so many times because he's been so good since being promoted to Double-A. All he has done is hit in 34 games. He's hitting .347 with 16 home runs, 36 RBIs, and posting an OPS of 1236. And guys, of his 14 hits that he's collected in the month of August, 8 of them extra base hits.
Well, he's going to lead in appearances for your minor league report, Kelly.
Right?
It seems like he's 3 or 4 times, 5 times a week.
It's insane. It's hard not to talk about him. He's been so good.
Hot shot. Not as smothered on a dive by Sanoha, but it kicks away from him a little bit, and Gonzalez has yet another multi-hit day. Brandon Compton up to 28 homers this year in the Marlins system. And look at this, heck of an effort from Sanoha.
Yeah, and even if he comes up with it, he might have a hard time getting Gonzalez at first. But a great job going to your right. Just kicks off. Nice job hustling after it to keep Gonzalez at first base.
Just real quick on Compton. He has been honestly unbelievable for the Marlins. A 22-year-old second-round pick last year out of Arizona State. 28 homers in 94 games, and the OPS on the year over 1,000. No one gets the bump up to Double-A and hits .350 in 35 games. And on top of the 28 homers, 18 stolen bases. Serious juice for Compton, serious juice for this guy. But Jacob Marcy again with that highlight reel play last night robbed Esmeralyn Valdez of a swing that could have helped him get off the schneid a little bit. Valdez with an 0 for 2 day, 3 for 29 in August.
A good two-seamer inside. This will set something up down and away. He tried to come back in there again with that two-seam fastball.
So now you're thinking definitely away.
Yeah, 2 times in. Even after the first, you always have to watch because you already have the hitter aware of that inside pitch. And it does open up the outside for a breaking ball, either a sweeper or that good curveball.
He went splitter. Can you keep moving out? Like that was a splitter that cut the plate in half. It was low. Could he go sweeper?
You could expand the zone still. You know, when you come inside, you already have them aware, and sometimes when you start that breaking ball in the middle of the plate and get it off, you'll get a swing and miss.
Hard hit roller and through for Valdez. Big turn for Gonzalez, and Marcy's throw goes to second.
That's a two-seam fastball out over the plate. He tried to come in again. You saw where Ramirez wanted it. He wanted it on the inner half to try to get in on the hands of Valdez. Just didn't get in there far enough.
And that'll be it for Tyler Phillips today. Clayton McCullough pops out of the Marlin dugout. Phillips at 92 pitches, worked 5 1/3. 1 clap. There's the baseball. And Cade Gibson coming on to pitching change. Tyler Phillips assessing his start. An immediate assessment for him. He was lifted after 5 1/3 of 2-run ball, but the runners at the corners are his. And as Phillips departs, enter the southpaw Cade Gibson. Starts off a lefty-lefty matchup with Jacob Gonzalez, and he takes a perfect heater.
And Gibson last pitched on Saturday against the Angels, a clean inning. He's done a nice job with inherited runners. The last 14 inherited runners, only 3 have scored. There are the numbers this year.
Now, last year, Cade Gibson was about 35% fastball. This year, about 25% fastball. He's gotten a heck of a lot better against lefty bats, and that's what the Marlins prioritized with Gibson. In 25, and it was a good year for Cade Gibson. The majority of his success came against right-handed hitters, and as a lefty bullpen arm in the National League East, you want to really put away lefties, and the Marlins feel like he's gotten a heck of a lot better at doing that. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And calls overturned. Marlins win the challenge.
Yeah, he's got that big breaker. If he could throw the heater for strikes, and that breaker breaks so hard and away, you can really expand the zone on it. Looks like maybe Ramirez is trying to do that now.
Gonzalez in defense mode.
That sweeper starts almost behind the left-handed hitter, and you see how far outside it breaks off the plate.
The Marlins have proven to be one of the best, if not the best, organizations in Major League Baseball at developing breaking pitches. The way that the Marlins director of pitching, Bill Hiesel, sees it all from the top down, Daniel Mosquez, Rob Marcello, Brandon Mann here, it seems like they get their hands on guys with legit stuff and they just add either another pitch to their arsenal or they make what they already have better. Good example last year, Ronnie Enriquez and the sweeper. John King is throwing better breaking balls. Gibson is throwing better breaking balls.
You know, a lot of it's mechanical. And a lot of it, I mean, you get some organizations or some pitching coaches that are just stuck on traditional grip. Say, hey, this is how you're supposed to throw the curveball. This is how you're supposed to throw the slider. And it may not work for a lot of guys, but you have to tinker down there and on the seams. Everything comes off the middle finger on a seam. You have to just mix it up and whatever works. You know, sometimes a traditional breaking ball grip is not going to work for a K. Gibson. Hey, look, you know what? Let's try holding it on a seam this way. Maybe a cutter grip might be a better slider for you. So you just have to go down to the bullpen and you got to figure it out. And that's what the Marlins have done.
And the Marlins, credit to the organization as a whole, they are not afraid to try anything. And that could be as simple as a grip change for a pitcher's breaking ball. Now, we mentioned the circles that outfielders need to get out of as quickly as possible yesterday. Now a walk from Cade Gibson loads him up for Jake Mangum.
You know, it's just like the two-seam fastball. There's no correct way to throw it. If you're getting sync off of a non-traditional way to hold the pitch, hey, good for you. And it's the same with the breaking ball.
Now, there's a level of natural gift to it. And I know you got to have a front row seat to watching Mariano do his thing. That one sailed back, but thankfully a lucky bounce back to Augustine.
Yeah, that went right over Augustine's head. I don't know what happened. I mean, you wouldn't think it was a cross-up because you have the pitch comm and you're signaling each other. You watch where this ball goes. I think Ramirez was telling him to step off. That just hit the bull right off of that right ear of Brock Ballou. He was like, whoa.
It was a bullseye on the P in Depot. Chopper foul. I was going to say, the grip only does 10-15% of the work. You got a front row seat to watching Mariano do his thing. At the end of the day, everybody else could grip a cutter the same way as he did. It's just never going to be most.
Yeah, you could teach somebody mechanics and you could have the same mechanics as another pitcher, the exact same. But everyone is going to have a different release point. Mariano can show someone, hey, this is how I hold my cutter. It's not going to come out the same because everyone has a different release point. I can say, hey, this is how I held my slider.
Yeah.
It just comes out differently. Now there you see the infield in. Now the Pirates, if you noticed in yesterday's ball game with men on first and third or bases loaded situation, they'll play their middle infielders back. But the Marlins traditionally, this is what they do. Infield in. That plays at the plate. Now you're only risking if something's hit hard through the infield. You usually wind up scoring 2. When the infield's back, you may have a little better chance of fielding a ball and maybe turning a double play. But Mangum, he runs well, so he's tough to double up anyway.
Tough day for pitch comm.
Yes.
Mangum, doesn't really struggle against either side of the platoon. Jake Mangum coming into this at bat hitting .293 against right-handed arms, hitting .301 against lefties. A switch hitter. Are we having more issues?
Yeah, that and the pitch clock was starting to wind down a little bit.
What are we going to do without tech? Great note from Jimmy here. It isn't the pitch comm, but the ABS challenge system. There's actually going to be no ABS in Dyersville, Iowa tonight.
Really?
Yeah. So no ABS in the Field of Dreams game. No ABS in Williamsport when they play the Little League Classic. And no ABS in Mexico City. Wait, here's the sequence here. Augustine goes button 1, button 2, button 3. And Gibson's just a statue, and he throws his hand up like, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
This reception's just out of whack. after a long wait. Counts 2-2. Well, again, that Field of Dreams game tonight in Dyersville, Iowa, the scene of the movie, and a great movie at that. Twins-Phillies tonight at 7:30 p.m. live on Netflix.
Now, are they going to have pitch clock, though?
Have to. There's no ABS challenge system. That hit Mangum. It was a slider bearing in, and it clipped Mangum just by a little bit, and a run comes in. That run's charged to Phillips, and it's 3-0 Pittsburgh.
You had a 1-2 count, and Mangum, he was able to get it back to 2-2. There you see, he just hung on to that slider a little too long. It just catches him on the bottom of the foot.
And now that's Pestadava Sinoha into left. It looked like Sinoha might have impeded with Gonzalez, but Gonzalez comes in to score anyways. It's a 2-run single for Triolo.
Yeah, good pickup. Hunter Wendelstedt, the third base umpire, immediately pointed at Sinoha. It was going to be a score anyway. Now, first pitch. Curveball, base hit. Now you watch there, you see Sinoha as soon as he gets up, and it's a smart base running move by Gonzalez. You watch now, he just slowly gets up. Gonzalez sees he's in the running lane, and he just runs right into him. He scores anyway, but Hunter Wendelstedt, the third base umpire, pointed.
Mangum pushed to second on that, the 2-run single from Triolo, and that gets a visit from Daniel Vasquez. One more look at this after Sinoha pops up on the dive.
Yeah, a little slow, and he tried to get out of the way. There you see Hunter Wendelstedt, the third base umpire, points at it. It's going to be interference if any kind of play was going to be at home.
Harry Wendelstedt Jr., middle name Hunter. That's why he goes by Hunter, but you remember his dad.
I do, and I do remember Hunter as well. So he was in the league a little bit at the end of my career.
Hunter Wendelstedt had the plate yesterday. It's Brock Ballou. And the first pitch from Gibson to Rafael Flores. Though of the 3 runs in this inning, the first 2 charged to Tyler Phillips, so his day is done. Well, when Gonzalez came in, that was the first run charged to Cade Gibson. Phillips 5 1/3, a 4-run ball today. He punched out 6. What'd you make of Tyler today?
I thought he was really good down in the zone. The split finger probably was the best that I've seen in a while. He really got on top of that pitch. Again, if you look at the fastball command and what was hit with the fastball, the 2-seam fastball, and a lot of fastballs out over the middle of the plate. If he can control that, move it in and out, because he does have good sink, but a lot of his fastballs are out over, and that's when hitters start making him pay a little bit.
Strike out of Rafael Flores. Good breaking ball from Gibson. There are 2 men gone.
The home run Triolo hit was on a sinker.
Tyler Phillips settled into a rhythm. At one point, he set down 7 in a row. And 10 of 11.
Off speed was great. Good curveball.
Yep.
Had a good sweeper going. Everything was down in the zone. With Tyler, it's just fastball command. If he can move that fastball in and out and work on sinkers in on righties, maybe get it off the plate on lefties. As a reliever, you can come in and you can throw some off speed to try to get out of an inning, because he does have good off speed. But as a starter, you're going to have to throw a few more fastballs.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and that one missed up and away. Augustine just trying to stop the bleeding in this inning. He was 2 inches off. Advantage count for Spencer Horwitz. And lost in the shuffle of this 3-run inning for Pittsburgh is Braxton Ashcraft has been sitting there for a while in that dugout. Ashcraft has thrown just 26 pitches over the last 3 innings of work. He's threw 5 scoreless in 50 pitches. He's getting the heart rate up. Were you a pacer or were you a jumper like this?
I sat.
You sat?
I sat and then I waited.
Expecting to see the full jumping jack at some point.
How about that? Behind 3-0. 2 sweepers in a row to get it back to 3-2.
He almost looks upset that his team has given him 5 runs of support. Get me back out there. Head start, foul tip, held on to by Augustine. Gibson strikes out the back 2, but 3 in for Pittsburgh. Marlins baseball is presented by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, by the Wells Fargo Act Cash credit card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. And by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. Now, first pitch called strike from Braxton Ashcraft, who was the first one out of the first base dugout after that 3 spot for Pittsburgh in the road 6th.
And he's been out on the mound before the Marlins even get off the field. The whole game. I played with a guy, Jamie Moyer. I remember Jamie Moyer, lefty, played probably close to in his late 40s. I know that. And he was always the first one out on the field, and probably 6 or 7 of the visiting team or opposing team hadn't even gotten across the foul line.
If Ashcraft could only be so lucky, Jamie Moyer debuted in 1986 at the age of 23 with the Cubs.
What did he play till he was 46, 47?
49.
49.
Made 10 starts with the Rockies in 2012. Well, it sounds like we may have a little bit more on Tyler Phillips. Let's go to Kelly.
Hey guys, just confirming you guys were correct. It was because Tyler Phillips did not declare that he would be pitching out of the stretch. So that was the situation back in the 5th where Magnum was able to score. So it was on the fact that he did not declare that he was going out of the stretch.
Javier Sanoja drives one to center, but no problem for Mangum for out number 2. It's good to know because, again, this is a relatively new rule that you have to declare that you are pitching from the windup with a runner at third, and Phillips didn't do it. And the only pertinent example in Major League Baseball this year happened 4 days ago when Sale got ejected the next day. It was.
I think it's ridiculous. It is a new rule. I've never heard of it before. Pitchers never had to do that ever before.
Now sort of short. Gonzalez has to hurry. Dug out by Horwitz. And that's a 6-pitch inning for Ashcraft.
Now,
take your Marlins pride wherever you go with the official Miami Marlins specialty license plate. Proceeds from every plate purchase and renewal help support youth development and sports initiatives throughout Florida through the Miami Marlins Foundation, Florida Sports Foundation. Learn more at playinflorida.com/Marlins. Brandon Lau on the first pitch of the 7th. Out to left center. Who's going to get it? Ruiz for out number 1.
Well, Lau was swinging at the first pitch. He already has the hat trick today. He goes, well, I'm not going to have the golden sombrero. I'm swinging at the first pitch.
Brandon Lau faced Tyler Phillips 3 times, and he was probably thanking the heavens that he wasn't going to see him a 4th time. Gibson came on. He had some early command issues. He has set down the last 3, including the last 2 in that 6th inning via the K. Now Reynolds flips around, another switch hitter in this Pirate lineup. He's one of the more underrated outfield bats in baseball. Reynolds, he has been pretty consistent. There have been a couple of dips. Now lefty John King is getting ready in the Marlins pen. But it seems like he has flown under the radar for the last 5-6 years or so.
Yeah, he's a solid player for them, and to have those other 3 in that lineup with O'Neill, Griffin, and O'Hearn makes him so much better.
You got about 40 left. Now, the Pirates entered play today 6 under. The Marlins entered play today 3 over. Now for the Marlins, they're probably sitting here saying, you know, with one eye on the National League wildcard race, there's a lot of baseball to be played. Can Gibson take a mulligan on that one?
Yeah, I would ask. That's the second time. The one time he threw a fastball to the backstop. This one, it just slips right out of his hand. There you see he was trying to grip that breaking ball and got underneath it.
Went right to Ligon to 2 fingers.
He's hit the bull twice.
Reynolds frustrated. Even after a fastball up.
Well, couldn't get a good grip on that curveball. Decides to go heat.
He tunneled that one.
He did. I don't know how you tunnel that one curveball that you throw and you miss everyone.
You always tell me work off your misses.
Yeah.
He was working off your misses. And he worked off another one.
That was a big tunnel.
Gibson about to throw his 30th pitch out of the pen. Gonzalez 2 for 3 today. And he's been up a lot this half inning.
Now the Marlins do not have any more challenges left. The Pirates have 2.
Now, just getting back to that thought, for the Marlins, who are 3 over 500 and a game and a half back in the National League wildcard spot, they're looking at 40 games left and saying there's a lot of ball left to be played. For the Pirates, who are 6 under and 1-7 after the trade deadline, I'm sure it feels a little bit more condensed, more constricted. Gonzalez is going to challenge. But at what point do you feel like if Pittsburgh is 6 under 500, they run out of time? Possibly. ABS, by the way, powered by T-Mobile.
You're gonna have to start sweeping series. This will be the 7th series if they win today. Even if they win today, this is the 7th straight series they've lost, and you're almost looking at panic mode right now and saying, "Hey, we got to sweep some series and hope they get some help from teams above."
Meanwhile, the Marlins. What lens do you look at the rest of the year through? Obviously, you want to win your series, but is it take care of business at home where they've been one of the best in baseball?
Yes, but also you go and you try to win series. You try not to look ahead too much. You don't want to. You love scoreboard watching. You love watching, where you are in the standings. But because of the teams that you play, and you're playing a lot of them right around you and even ahead of you in the playoff race, you control your own destiny. If you go out and continue to win series, then you're going to continue to climb up and continue to put pressure on those teams around you and above you. And so it is in panic mode. It's just nice and easy, and that's the way they've played. The Pirates, you go into September and you're down or you're out 6 games, it's basically over.
Yeah.
Even though mathematically it's not. I mean, you look at some of the teams like St. Louis, you thought they were done, and now they're right back in it. They're a game behind the Marlins. The Nationals, all of a sudden, they went through a slump where they lost 6 or 7 in a row. Now they're starting to, play a little bit better.
And you got teams that are going in a different direction as well, like San Diego. They've won 5 in a row with that walk-off last night. Tampa's won 9 in a row. They're the best team in baseball, record-wise.
6 games ahead now on the Yankees.
Meanwhile, Boston, who was 30-5, has dropped 5 in a row.
Yeah. But still, in that second wild card, the American League's just not a great league.
It's Merlin Valdez out to right center. No problem for Marcy. And that ends the inning for Gibson in the road 7th. And now we head to the stretch, which is presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Welcome to the stretch presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Well, the wild card chase is on, and for the Marlins right now, a very big road trip is coming up against teams that are still pursuing the wild card. First up this weekend, we've got the 3-game series in Cincinnati, and man, is it going to be a great matchup coming up with Sandy Alcantara and Chase Burns set to square off on Friday night. 3 games in Cincinnati this weekend. Then the Marlins visit the city of brotherly love to take on the Philadelphia Phillies and Miami is right in the thick of catching those fighting Phils. They could get some wins in Philadelphia. Who knows? Maybe they take over that wild card spot. Here are the current updated standings. Miami, as you see, just a game and a half back of the Philadelphia Phillies, Arizona Diamondbacks, and then the San Diego Padres are right there as well. Should be a fun weekend. You can check out all the action here on Marlins TV. We'll be back to Marlins baseball after a quick word from our friends at Celsius.
Welcome back. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-0 Pirates over the Fish, and Braxton Ashcraft has been on cruise control. 56 pitches through 6 innings of work. It's the fewest pitches to get through 6th by a Pirate since Ivan Nova back in 2017. At the end of May, he needed just 52 pitches to get through 6. He's also faced the minimum through 6. He's induced 3 double play balls.
Out of his young career, it's only the 7th time that he has been into the 7th inning.
Some of the hardest contact against him, but Horwitz to Ashcraft, no problem. And now a message from WHG Law.
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG, preparation wins.
That brings up Xavier Edwards. 3rd time through against Braxton Ashcraft.
58 pitches. You wonder. Now, I looked and I just noticed today there's only been 15 complete games so far this year throughout baseball. Everybody's tied. I mean, there's 15 guys that are tied at 1.
Okay, there are 15 guys in terms of complete games. How about complete game shutouts? I think there were 8 or 9. Sandy Alcantara obviously has one of them. 7 complete game shutouts, but obviously the Marlins looking to make some noise here in the back third of the ball game. Edwards can absolutely start it off. He walked his first time up. Well, Braxton Ashcraft has been one of the breakout stars on the hill in Major League Baseball this year. He had first-time All-Star. Last year, he was a swingman. He made 26 appearances, only 8 of which were starts. He was really good. 70 innings at a 2.7, but this is a bump up. And while the ERA was over 4 coming into this one, he earned that All-Star nod in July. But Edwards lines the ball to center. Mangum got a good break, and he drifts to it.
He's been very efficient in the strike zone. He's gotten ahead of a lot of hitters. He's only walked 1, struck out 7, but the strikeouts, he's finishing them off with 3 or 4 pitches. You don't see the deep counts. You don't see a lot of foul balls.
For so many starters around Major League Baseball, and with the Marlins, we talk about the 3rd time through the order, how guys struggle when a lineup sees them for the 3rd time. It sounds weird, but the bugaboo for Ashcraft is the 2nd time through. That's a right center. More quick work for Braxton Ashcraft. A 7-pitch inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Miami Marlins and may not be produced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Top of the 8th inning here in Miami, and the left-hander John King into the contest.
He last pitched on Friday, all the way back on Friday the 7th against the Angels. A clean inning. Here you see the numbers. 174 batting average against, pretty good. 47 innings, 28 hits.
He was making an all-star push.
Yes, he was in the beginning. He was like incredible.
Not many middle relievers and setup guys are tapped as all-stars. You know, typically of the 5-ish relievers that are selected to an all-star team, they're all closers. Back into Jimenez. Nice grab by King to get to the bag. A little bit behind him, but he yanked it down. But John King, you know, he was throwing like one of the better setup guys in baseball. Now, he wasn't necessarily throwing when the Fish were up by 1 in the 8th, like your typical setup guy. But King, at the end of the day, if you throw 45 innings at a sub-2 ERA, you're going to get that consideration, and that's what he was doing. Now, Jake Mangum so far today, after the relegation from the leadoff spot to the 7 spot, has himself a triple, a run scored, and a hit by pitch. Former Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. He was there in 2023. Teammates with Griffin Conine, with Xavier Edwards. 1 year with Jacksonville before Tampa took him on. He came up as a Met prospect. And he snuck one just inside the first base line. He can motor. And Mangum has himself a 1-out double.
That's 2 pitches in a row that he's able to cover that outside part of the plate. The last one he fouled off was about 6 inches off. This is a 2-seam fastball off the end of the bat, and he just smokes it. You see where Jimenez is playing. He's playing him to pull, so he's well off the bag, and it just stays fair. You're covering about 4 or 5 inches off of that plate.
He's been a hit collector since he was in Starkville, Mississippi. Played 4 years at Mississippi State, and still the SEC's all-time leader in hits. Over his 4-year career in Mississippi State, he hit .357.
Really?
Mangum did. It's a Houston Cougar, Jared Triolo, who got out of there before Josh Eknes could get to the University of Houston. He's had himself a out of sorts but good day. Just his 2nd homer in his 86th game. He didn't go. Advantage count, 3-1. Oh, a heck of a pitching matchup tomorrow. How about Sandy Alcantara in Cincinnati against Chase Burns?
Cincinnati's winning today 8-5 in the 6th. They're in Chicago against the White Sox.
Sal Stewart with another homer. It's a fun conversation. National League Rookie of the Year right now. Stewart in Cincinnati, who's near the top of the big leagues in RBIs. J.J. Weatherholt in St. Louis. And you have to think Joe Mack is going to get some love. Hey, let's check in with Kelly Sacco.
Hey guys, a walk there for Triolo, but as you mentioned, Jack, he collected his 2nd home run of the season that gave the Pirates at the time the 2-0 lead. At first glance at this Buccos home run celebration, you might be thinking, is that the Iron Man mask? The answer is no. Pirates sideline reporter Hannah Mears told me that's actually a welding hood. It was gifted to the Pirates during spring training when they expressed their desire to pay tribute to Pittsburgh blue-collar workers that built the city. That particular mask belonged to a man named Dave Stevenson, who used it for 22 years at a local plant.
Steel mills.
Very cool, right?
Yes.
Can we call it the most rugged homer celebration?
And that's got to be heavy, too.
Oh, yeah. And then the cone hoisting. You see the cone hoisted in the background?
It's got the leather. leather there, the worn out leather.
It's got to be protective. You're working with scorching hot materials for 22 years.
All the sparks, welding helmet. All the guys wearing it.
People love that stuff, man. Do you
Lovely aroma to it.
How do you think
Have
you
I
take
ever
care
welded?
Of it? No. You think they Febreze in there? How do they do that?
I don't know. You hope so.
Yeah. No, you ever watch? It's a big thing. I know on Netflix, like glass blowing is a thing, and you're working with really, really hot glass, right?
I've never watched it, but I've experienced it before.
Have you done it?
I have, out in Seattle.
Rafael Flores unloads to left. 7-0 Pittsburgh.
And number 2 on the year for Flores. Big 3-run homer. And you watch this. It's just a breaking ball down and in, and you get underneath it. There you see it. You get underneath that breaking ball. You're not getting on top. That was a great look, and it's down and into a righty. All you're doing is dropping the head. Pretty similar to a left-handed hitter. Anything breaking down and in, they're dropping the head of the bat. That's exactly what Flores did.
Pardon, 8-0 Pittsburgh in the 3-run shot from Flores. It's his second in his 13th game. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. Pirates down to 1 remaining.
Now you've heard of? Have you ever heard of? He's very famous. Dale Chihuly.
Yeah.
So his studio is in Seattle, right by the University of Washington, right there on the water.
Cool.
And we used to do some charity events, and we had something for cystic fibrosis that I used to help out Jay Buhner and Randy Johnson. And one of the items was to go and blow glass at his studio with him.
So
cool.
cool.
And so we did it one time. It was cool. Now the thing that I made, I mean, you can't tell what it is. I mean, I have no idea.
It's
what
okay.
It is. It's like a blob. But just watching those guys and how they do it, it was amazing.
It's like you were doing macaroni art.
That's
for
what
adults.
it looked like. Yes. Yes.
Now Chihuly, if you ever get out to Seattle, go to the Chihuly Gardens, right? That Chihuly museum type deal. It's awesome. And the other one is what the ceiling of the lobby of the Bellagio in Vegas is all Chihuly blown glass.
Looks like Medusa's head with all the snakes.
Yeah. Roller to Edwards. That's out number 2. A lot of the damage has come from the bottom third of this Pirate lineup today. Their 7, 8, and 9 guys have combined for 5 hits, 4 of which extra base hits, a couple of homers, and 7 of the 8 RBIs. And in an 8-0 game, it looks like Clayton McCullough may be going to get Cade Gibson. Or John King, pardon?
Yeah, it looks like Javi Sanoja is going to try to wrap this up. Down 8-0, you can have a position player go in the game.
And this will be a 4-out effort. And Marlins fans, join us for pregame Sunday brunch on Sunday, August 25th. 1:40 p.m. presented by Free AF. Special package includes game ticket and 2-course brunch, 2 hours of bottomless mimosas, plus unlimited soft drinks, coffee, and cafecito. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/brunch. A couple of changes. Javier Sanoja making his 5th appearance on the hill this year, and Graham Pauley takes over as the new third baseman. Loud down the right field line, foul ball.
Lyle's had a tough day. 3 strikeouts, flew out to left. He's probably happy that a position player now is in. Might be able to collect a hit.
You think Javi ever entertains deploying like a knuckleball or something like that? We saw the eephus from Heineman with Anaheim over the weekend. Otto digs it out, but he can't get it to first in time.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that thing brought down rain by the time it hit the strike zone. You know, Javi's below hitting speed. What's he throwing? About 40 miles an hour. That one was at 57.
He ran it up to 61, or pitch number 2.
Feeling a little froggy with that pitch.
Change up the arm slot, too. Well, again, Sandy Alcantara against Chase Burns tomorrow. Sandy held opponents scoreless in each of his last 3 starts. Hot shot, but that will end the inning. Out of the bag himself.
Mr. Kona and Mr.
Braxton Ashcraft has faced the minimum through 7. He'll get 4, 5, and 6. Starting with the new guy into the fold, Graham Pauley, who took over at third for Javier Sanoja, but Braxton Ashcraft has been the star of the show tonight. Pauley pops it back and foul. Got a defensive change. Brian Reynolds out of the game in left field. And Justin Sun Garcia takes over. Justin Sun. JHOSTYNXON. Justin Sun Garcia.
All right.
3-pitch punch out for Ashcraft. Justin Sun Garcia, 23-year-old rookie, who was previously a Red Sox prospect, but he was acquired by the Pirates in December. Now his nickname, very fitting, again, JHOSTYNXON. His nickname is the Password.
That's a good one right there. Wow.
He's got a younger brother.
Or Scrabble.
I like Scrabble.
You get some points on that.
So Justin Sun Garcia, again, the Password, a former Red Sox prospect. They had the Garcia brothers in the system. His younger brother's name is Johan Fran Garcia, and his nickname is the Username.
I think we need to talk to their parents. Where are they getting these names?
Come on, it's one of the best nicknames ever. The Password.
The Password.
It's so good. Now, I haven't changed any of my passwords to Justin Sun. Are you going to? Another punch out for Ashcraft. Coming into this 8th inning, he had fired 39 pitches in the last 5 innings of work.
He hasn't allowed a runner to reach second yet. I mean, look at that. You know, the most he has thrown is 13 in the first inning. And if you look at the strikeouts, everything has been efficient. 3-4 pitches. That was a 5th pitch K, a good breaking ball down, and that has been a nasty pitch for him, is that curveball. I mean, he has 9 punch outs.
It's a fair ball. And another lightning quick inning for Ashcraft. 10 pitches. Face the minimum through 8.
At T-Mobile.
Well, Javier Sanoja still out there. Again, he's looking for 4 outs to finish the job for Marlin pitching. Braxton Ashcraft is through 8 scoreless. And he's done it with a comically low pitch count. The all-star right-hander through 8 in 73 pitches.
The only be, if he finishes the ninth, the 16th complete game on the year. And what did you say? 8 shutouts? 8 complete game shutouts. So it could be the 9th.
Probably took a little something off. Foul ground could be playable. Paulie has out number 1. 7 complete game shutouts this year. Sandy Alcantara threw the first one against the White Sox in his second start of the year. Dylan Cease has one. Stephen Kolek in Kansas City. Dustin May. Bailey Ober threw one against the Marlins. Christopher Sanchez threw one. And Jacob Mizorowski with that 15 strikeout performance against Philly. Pirates have a challenge remaining. They choose not to use it. Valdez has a multi-hit day.
Little drop down, 4-seam fastball. Every time Sanoha releases the ball, I mean, he backs up a little bit, and he knows, hey, I'm not throwing that hard. I got to start acting like a fielder out on the mound.
Ready to field his position.
That ball that Reynolds hit to end the 8th inning, that force out at second, he smoked it, I think, right between Sanoha's legs.
It was 102. (10-0) Pittsburgh. Gonzalez's 6th home run in the big leagues.
Ah, a little circle change. Wow. Mixes it up a little bit.
Doesn't pay dividends. That was 109 off the bat. Smoked. Now, did that ball get lodged? Did you see that underneath that railing?
Yeah, went right through the railing in the second deck.
That's to David Jimenez. Mangum has a 3-hit day. Well, barring pure chaos against Braxton Ashcraft, this is a 4-2 homestand, and the Marlins continue to take care of business at home. Triolo to left, and it's a fair ball. And runners at first and second.
Yeah, this is just one of the tip your hat kind of games. You know, when you're facing a guy like Ashcraft, I mean, he's got great stuff. Their offense came through, so it gave him some cushion out on the hill, but he's had terrific stuff. Electric fastball, and he's basically been doing it with 2 pitches. The fastball, curveball. Yeah, you just tip your hat. You win this series. Start watching the scoreboard. Now the Padres don't play. The Diamondbacks do not play. Now the Phillies do have Minnesota.
We got Flores with a multi-homer day. And it's a baker's dozen for Pittsburgh. Pair of 3-run home runs for him.
Now you got to hand it to Javi. You know, the only guy on their team that you're probably going to pitch. He plays everywhere. He's out there trying to get a 4-out save, and you're throwing batting practice.
Here's that Worth a 2-decade-old welder's mask. Count 1-1 on Horwitz after a long foul ball. Again, 4-2 on the homestand. And the Marlins continue to do damage at home. Even with a loss today, they'll fall to 13 over 500 at home. It's the 4th best record at home in Major League Baseball. The only teams that are better in their home ballpark this year in terms of more wins are Milwaukee, Tampa, and Atlanta. And in 26, that is elite company to keep.
Yeah, and those 3 teams are winning their division.
The Marlins hit the road for a couple of interesting series. Again, Sandy Alcantara, Chase Burns tomorrow night at 6:10. That one drops into the triangle perfectly for Spencer Horwitz. The Pirates jet out of here. They go back to Pittsburgh. Quick 3-day road trip for them. Meanwhile, the Marlins 3 in Cincinnati and then 3 in Philadelphia.
Well, the Marlins have the same opportunity as they have or had against Pittsburgh, just trying to put Cincinnati in the rear view, trying to take 2 out of 3.
Now Lau. It's been a dreadful day for him, and a warning track flyout continues. A tough showing. And you start to look at the projected probables. We know that pitching matchup tomorrow is set in stone. It's Burns taking on this Marlins offense, but this Marlin lineup going to have to cut through a young star in Burns tomorrow night, a talented lefty in Nick Lodolo on Sunday, and then you go wheels up to Philly, and it looks like you take on Sanchez and Wheeler in back-to-back games next Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah,
but
Brady Singer, not bad either.
No. He's turned it on as of late. Meanwhile, Braxton Ashcraft waits. Pitch count in sterling shape. The password right back to Sanoja. And the inning's over. 5 across. Marlins baseball is presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Limited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. By Hard Rock Bet, the official bet partner of the Miami Marlins. And by Mountain Dew. Get a Baja for a blast. Braxton Ashcraft back out there for the bottom of the 9th inning. And pitch number 74 is whacked at and missed by Owen Casey.
Here's something for you. When's the last time somebody threw a complete game and faced a minimum without throwing a no-hitter or a perfect game?
And not even a one-hitter either. There are 2 hits on the board for the Marlins. Casey drills one to right center. Valdez is back, and there goes the shutout. A beauty of a bomb for Owen Casey. And his 13th on the year gets the fish on the board.
Well, second pitch he sees is a fastball, 97 miles an hour. It was just inside, supposed to be away. Getting late in the ball game, even though you only have 75 pitches. And the Marlins will not get shut out.
And no Maddox for Braxton Ashcraft. A Maddox is defined as a complete game shutout in fewer than 100 pitches. It's played by Valdez for out number 1. Well, that Casey homer is another Marlins home run for healthcare presented by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. Ashcraft is still hunting something, although that may be tough. The last Pirate complete game in fewer than 85 pitches was Jeff Karstens back in 2011 in Houston. Braxton Ashcraft has been sensational today. He was high octane at the beginning of the year. And for a guy that struggled with durability in the minor leagues, he's near the top of the National League in innings pitched.
Well, he's filled up the strike zone, and a lot of, the last 6 innings have been under 11 pitches and a lot of single digits. And just like that, that two-seam fastball has just been on point. Both sides of the plate, good sink, and the curveball has been lights out, and that's been his pitch anyway.
Last light for the Fish is the leadoff man Marcy, and Ashcraft is looking to tie a bow on an outing where he faces 1 over the minimum. That curveball still sharp as it was in the first.
It's the first time in his career that he's pitched in the 9th inning.
For this one, longest he had gone was 7 2/3 against Cincinnati back on May 3rd. He has gone 7 innings on 4 other occasions. He's got 9 strikeouts tonight. That's 2 shy of his season high. He K'd 11 at the end of May. Marcy to center. And Mangum closes the book on a complete game for Braxton Ashcraft.
He just ran into a buzzsaw, and you got to tip your hat to Braxton Ashcraft. The outstanding ball game. The 2 pitches, fastball, curveball combination, just unhittable today. Really spotted his fastball. Outstanding line. His very first complete game of his young career. He had 10 punch outs, 3 hits, and if it wasn't for Casey's home run, he would have had a shutout. And the offense with the Pirates did an outstanding job as well.
Not a lot of sterling defense on the field today, but a great catch from a fan here at Lone Depot Park. On Rafael Flores' second home run of the day. How about that grab? Like a punt returner making a basket catch there. You got to use your elbows to grab it sometimes. It's our Mazda defensive play of the game. Braxton Ashcraft was all serious until he made his way to the high 5 line. He flashes a smile there. 13-1, the Pirates get the win over the Marlins. Fish go wheels up, head to Cincinnati and Philly in moments. Post-game show is coming up next. Craig Mish and AJ Ramos will take you the rest of the way. Again, Nets telecast tomorrow. We hit the air at 6 p.m. For Kelly Sacco, for Jeff Nelson, I'm Jack McMullen saying so long. Postgame begins next.